We are here with Captain Dabar Ahmath of the ISUPK in Milwaukee. Captain Dabar Ahmath is a direct descendant from Harriet Tubman. Is there anything that you would like to tell us, Captain Dabar Ahmath?
Well, first of all, just to tell you about myself. Yes, I'm Captain 10,000 Dabar Ahmath, Israelite School of UPK, under Commanding General Yohana. We started out of 1 West, Harlem, New York. Since 1969, we've been bringing out accurate Black and Hispanic and Native Indian history. And to be a descendant, blood linked to an icon that America treasures, such as Harriet Tubman, I think it's well overdue for an interview. In that respect, because of the impact that she has on Black culture here in America.
How do you feel about the way Harriet Tubman was portrayed in the movies that were made so far?
That's a great question. Of course, sometimes Hollywood has to put some things in there that's cinematic. Those sometimes be the things that we take from that and that we kind of think are actual, factual events. But of course, some of that stuff is cinematic. For me, I think her portrayal in the latest movie was more accurate than a lot. Of course, as her family, as a member of her family, we know, that the way she did things was a bit different. You know what I mean? But for Hollywood and for people who don't really know Harriet, you know what I'm saying? They don't really understand the traditions that was passed down in our family. Hollywood could, do what they got to do to sell the tickets. That's what they do. They sell tickets. I wasn't particularly happy myself individually that they didn't get an actual woman from our stock, our bloodline. They didn't pick a woman from our bloodline. I kind of would have liked to see, another Black woman actually play Harriet Tubman. And I know that's kind of confusing because that was a Black woman, and according to popular beliefs, but it wasn't. That was an actual African woman that played a Black woman, and those are two different type of people. And I wish that maybe a different person could have played. Maybe what's the lady's name? I forget her name. It leaves me right now, but one of those people. The people like the lady who played in Black Panther as a general. They could have had her play her. Or Angela Bassett. You know what I mean? Angela Bassett could have played her. Just another, beautiful woman, of our persuasion, so to speak.
So can you explain to us how exactly are you related to Harriet Tubman?
That's a great question. So from Benjamin Ross, which was her father, and my slave name, I have Ross in it. Of course, I'll be making a book about it, give the whole genealogy, but in a nutshell, Benjamin Ross, he had some children. Harriet was one of them. Well, her name was not Harriet at first. His wife's name was Harriet. Araminta, or Minty, as we know her in the family, she didn't have any kids. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not one of her children, of course. I'm her brother, Benjamin Jr. You understand? Benjamin Ross Jr. had sons. I'm one of his sons, all right? Which makes her my great aunt. And so my grandmother, her grandfather's name was Elijah Stewart, who is the son of Benjamin Ross Jr. And he changed his name to Stewart after they were taken from the plantation on Christmas Day in the year that he escaped with Harriet, and then they went up north to the northern states. So my grandmother had my father, of course, you understand, and my brothers and sisters, and here I am, another generation in her chain. And then, of course, I have children. So there is a whole new genealogy that's been established from my sons and my daughters as well. Hell, my daughter Tazabia looks just like Harriet Tubman. If you were able to see that, you would see it.
Do you know how long Harriet Tubman was freeing the slaves? And do you know how many slaves did she actually free?
I believe it was about 40 something years when she was doing that. She made 19 trips. According to history, she made 19 trips into the South. If we're gonna include hers, then it would have been 20 trips from the South to free at least roughly 300 slaves. But when she did a mission for the U.S. military during the Civil War, she saved 700 counted. So overall, maybe give or take 1,000. And of course, don't get it twisted. Her father, Benjamin Ross, is the one who taught her about the Underground Railroad. So there's no telling how many that wonderful black man, you know what I'm saying, that whose lineage, whose stock I got in my genes. There's no telling how many people he actually freed. You know what I mean? So yeah, about 1,000 people are to record today.
How do you feel that America makes movies and TV shows based on Harriet Tubman and what she did, but your family doesn't receive any of the royalties?
Well, it's the same thing. That's what slavery is about. You understand? Like, slavery is about doing all the work and receiving none of the benefits. And I think really, I wouldn't get caught up in that fight. I would get caught up in the things that we do benefit from it. And the things we do benefit from it are lessons in life. Because we can look back again at the history and see how she was treated. Like, Harriet Tubman wasn't a person that loved slavery or loved the slave master. She absolutely despised them. She absolutely loathed them. You see what I'm saying? And that was the thing that made her, it was a driving factor that pushed her into wanting to be free, first of all. And then when she got free, she looked back and said, well, I can't be free without my family. So you know what I got to do? I got to go free my family. And then freeing her family turned into, okay, you know what? I got to free everybody that has the gall to want to stand up and actually be free. And so that was something that, we do capitalize off of that, because even today, me being in the Israelite School ISUPK, I have the opportunity to actually bring people to the modern day Underground Railroad, which isn't so underground anymore, but it saves the lives of blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians. It's called the Israelite School ISUPK. It's an honor and a privilege to do it. So the same thing that she was doing is the same thing that I end up doing, and many generations to pass or to come, all the way leading up to until now. So I think anybody else in my family who thinks that monetary gain is the thing that they should be benefiting from, I think that they're quite lost as well, and they probably would fall under the category of the things that Harriet Tubman, the people that Harriet Tubman said that she wished she could free them if they had known they were slaves. I think even in my family, you understand, the people who don't stand with what I'm doing, they don't understand Harriet Tubman. They don't understand Harriet. You got to actually get out here and make a pathway to free blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians. So now the form of slavery now is to free you mentally so that you can be able to free yourself from the conditions that we go through in America today.
And we thank you, Cap, for taking time out of your busy schedule to come have this interview with us. Your message was powerful. I think a lot of us can learn from that, especially when you said that we're blood descendant Israelites. So your message was powerful. You understand? Of course, this is Captain of 10,000 Dabar Ahmath of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge in Milwaukee.